I was told to deliver this message. You think you're invincible because you got money, bombs, guns, and planes, killing babies, innocent people. I think you're insane. Chaos and destruction is the name of your game. Somebody's got to stop you before the whole world goes up in flames. So he told me to tell you, I'll fight
for my brothers. We can go to war. Fighting for my father, I will give my life for. I feel so alone in this white man's world. Whip it in the kitchen, watch that white turn pearl. Standing on the corner, standing on my phone, standing with my gangsters, but I'm standing on my own. If you got to be his own, split you like you be alone. Sacrifice my life, understanding each his own. Toast to the keys of success. Bel Air rose on my breath. I've been a student since '03, and we can fight till we see peace.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Let me holler at you for a minute, give you game. Real scrappy, love the bottom, Buddha bang. Trigger happy, and everybody in the game. You shot your family and didn't even know it, man. Same rules, same code, with a different slang. Struck him up, now they took him out the picture frame. Mama, don't cry, we gon' get by. 2 weeks later, got killed in a drive-by. Go wild, must we fight amongst each other? Reach one, each one, teach one, my brother. I teach them how to fight on the grass and in the class. Snoop Dogg, all stars, yes sir, they coming fast. D1, football, we won. Now proud of my son, Lil Snoop, yes sir, cause he won. Right on, SC, fight on. We 100, keep it coming, dip, slip, slide on, light on.
I fight like that. 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 I fight like that.
Watching the warriors, the story of the rebels. You from the ghetto, did you know never to settle? I'm shooting common on the streets, I'm a pharaoh. Battling in African-American apparel. Fists on a t-shirt, youngins doing street work. Grinding till they teeth hurt, that's because they need work. Working till the feet hurt, trying to get my soul right. Used to be on old bikes, serving them that cold white. Wars in the winters, the block is hot in summers. Today's mathematics, we know it's strength in numbers. To the bosses and the runners, the hustlers and the stunners. We fight for the hundreds, we fight for the oneness.
He fights with the heat. He fights with the sleet. He said, I am who I am. I can't be beat. Nobody has won a war against me.
I fight like that. 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 I fight.
I am not here to satisfy you. I am not here so you like, oh, Grant, I like him. I don't care if you like me or not, man. I want to move a handful of people in the room to go from 400 grand a year to start thinking about how do I make 4 million?
My goal is to meet as many people on this planet as possible, people that are positive, people that have more time to create than to be critical, more time to hustle than they have to hate, and they want to actually add strategy and techniques that are proven to grow their business so that they can take care of their family and their church.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Thank you very much for having me. I live here in Miami. Anybody here live here? No? You guys are all out of, well, welcome. So what I want to talk to you about today is having the life. And the economy collapsed. When Lehman collapsed, the life that I thought I had was put at risk. So you're in this room because you're a top producer. And I'm going to tell you that one of the things that to me is the most difficult thing in my entire career is becoming a top producer. Because the moment you become a top producer, you become susceptible to thinking you have the life. I grew up in a little town in Louisiana, a little small town, about 60,000 people. You probably hear the accent. And I grew up in a middle class family. My dad died when I was 10 years old. My mother raised us. And my mother constantly told me how proud I should be of myself. How many of you got a mother like that? You should be so proud of yourself, okay? Every time, my mom was my best friend, and every time I would have a success, it didn't matter whether I was 18 years old or 48 years old. Anytime I had a success, she was the first person I called. I wouldn't call my girlfriend, wouldn't call my wife, wouldn't call any of the people that were closest to me. I'd call my mom and say, Mom, you'd never believe I just bought a real estate deal. I started this company. I bought my first real estate deal. It's 38 units. It's $4 million. And she'd be like, that's awesome. I love you just the way you are. And I'm like, okay, thanks. She told me that 1,000 times. How many of you had a parent tell you, I love you? That's great. You made 160 grand last year. But I love you just the way you are. How many hear that? Okay, that's right out of the 10X rule. I don't know if you know that. That's right out of the 4 actions. Anybody know what action it is? Average, I'm doing well. Okay, there's 4 levels of action. Number 1 is I do nothing. If I rewrote this book, I would take that out. That's actually impossible. To do nothing at all is impossible. Try doing it right now. To do nothing means you had to make a decision to do something and not do it. This is actually not true. I wouldn't put it in the book if I rewrote it. The second level of action is to retreat. This is what most people do, by the way. How many had a commitment to work out today and didn't? Okay, I was up late. Whatever. You came up with whatever reason, I'm going to make the call. By the way, any retreat in life, any single retreat is a discipline and a commitment to retreat when it matters. So every time you make a decision, you just need to be aware that what are you doing here, okay? There's only 4 things you can do in any given day, right? You could do nothing, you could retreat, or you could do this, average. Now, I know you guys are being told that you're the top, you're the best, you made it to Miami, but I'm just gonna tell you right now, ain't not a person in this room is above number 3. No, I'm not there, okay? And I know how much I'm grinding every day, how much I'm pushing every day, how many hours I put into a day. What's the maximum number of hours you can do in a day? Not if you add people. If you added people, you got to think beyond the 24th thing. Once you guys get committed, then you will come up with solutions outside the physical universe. Okay, you're already doing that. Your space is bizarre, okay? Here there's a bunch of people in the room that like, I don't know anything about technology. I'm 61 years old. I was born in 1958. I am supposed to be outside of that moment of technology. Yet I'm probably one of the top 5 social media people in the world today. Banging on Instagram and Snapchat and LinkedIn and Google Plus that'll go away. Using all these mechanisms to try to get attention so that I can operate at this level 10X thing, this massive level that is always changing, by the way. You can't 10X something. People are like, man, I'd write the book. If I wrote the book, I'd write it 11X. I'm like, that's because you don't understand 10X, dude. 10X is a multiplier. It's 10X, which is 100. Okay? So what I did when Lehman collapsed, I wrote the 10X rule. And I wrote the book because I realized I had done something wrong. That book was written for me. And the reason, when I closed the book, the reason I was like, whatever, I had figured out what I had done wrong, okay? I had to embrace the idea that $3 or $4 million in a bank and a house paid for and 2 cars and a marriage, and I got it better than everybody else. And my mama loves me just the way I am, was all this this middle class, this American, particularly here in America. How many of you live in America? Okay, in America, the middle class, it is the sleeping chamber on planet Earth. Okay, people come here. They come from India and China, come to here to get a middle class. Dude, I don't want anything to do with this. Okay, you're middle class, you will not change the world. You might change your house. You might change the education your little kids get. Okay, they get to go to Texas A&M, big deal, right? He told me that he went to Texas. I said, oh, that had to screw you up bad, just going to college. Why? Because what do they manufacture at college? They manufacture average people at college. So I want to challenge you today, okay? I want to challenge you today to start thinking, hey, wait a minute, am I even a top producer? How did that get created for this room? What number did you have to hit to get in this room? What's the number, 1 million? Who made that number up? Was that Bob? I'm Bob. Bob's sitting around, what can we do? Okay. Huh? Did he make the number 1 million up? Why wasn't it 1,100,000, 110, 111? Instead, because he got lazy. 1 million is a lazy number. How many of you would agree with that? It's a lazy number. Dude, anything that ends in a 0 is lazy. Come on, how about some creativity, right? How about a little creativity when you're making decisions in your life? Like, what's a good income level for this room? Let's say we don't share this anywhere outside this room. What would be a real number? You guys are going to hire me. What's a real number that I can make in this room? Y'all can talk to me. Now, damn, I will not hurt you, okay? What's a number? 400 grand. Okay, now why did we come up with that number? Because I don't know how you guys could even live on that number. If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed with myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being. 400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month? You guys haven't done the math. You have not done the math because you cannot live on 400 grand a year. And if you think you can live on 400 grand a year, I might have to go back and add number 1. Nothing. Anybody can make 400 grand a year. All you got to do is show up. Okay. Now I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You guys don't need to agree with me. I've already been paid my fee. Okay. I am not here to satisfy you. I am not here so you like, oh, Grant, I like him. I don't care if you like me or not, man. I want to move a handful of people in the room to go from 400 grand a year to start thinking about how do I make 4 million? Big boy right over here popping out. What'd you make last year? What'd you gross last year? 2.7. How does anybody live on $2.7 million a year? You need to make it impossible, dude. I can't, my plane eats $2.7 million a year. This dude needs to think different. He's running out of time, man. You guys all in the room, man, you're running out of time. You're in a space that is so frothy with opportunity, it's unbelievable. You're making sense of less than you can get. This is my mama. My mama saying, I love you, boy, just the way you are. Mama, I made $10 million on one deal. That's great. But son, I love you just the way you are. I'm like, shit, I don't love me just the way I am. Because I'm doing deals where I know I could make 100. Okay, how many of you in the room are operating below your potential? Let me see a hand. If you know you're operating below your potential, man, please tell me you're operating. How many of you, let me see a hand again, if you're operating below your potential? Okay, your finances should indicate that. Your finances are a way to tell the truth about who you are, your space. Like if you're an Uber driver and you're making 2.7 million a year, pat on the back. You're in this space making 2.7 million a year? Come on, man. Your company's doing what, 2 billion? $2 billion, and you guys aren't getting it all. Would you say that you're not getting it all? A lot of room. He's telling me he's in the first innings of his game. So I'm like, hey, what do I need to do? Let's say 400 is the number. Then I'm going to take this and I'm just going to 10x that. And I'm going to build a business plan for $4 million. And I'm going to quit thinking that I got to do a 4-minute mile. I'm going to quit thinking about the physical universe. What can I do to produce $4 million worth of income? Is it here? Is it outside of here? Is it here and outside of here? How many customers would I need? This is what my goal for you today is, to leave here and say, dude, I ain't satisfied. Okay? I want to raise the numbers on this room. So the next time there's 75 people here and everybody adds a 0 to your income. Oh, by the way, if you love yourself at 400 grand, mama, if you love your son just the way he is at 400, would you love me a little more if I add a 0? No, she couldn't love me anymore. It wasn't up to her to love me. It was up to me to love what I'm doing every day, right? You guys are showing up, you're working your ass off every day, right or wrong. How many of you making calls every day? You're like, I do not want to make this call, and you make it anyway. Good, then get paid for it. Get paid some real money for it, man, okay? Get paid some real money, just add a 0. How many calls would I have to make? Is this even possible? He's doing part of it. He told me he's not tapped into all of it. He's hitting 70% of that number. If everybody walked out of here and said, hey, I'm gonna build a $4 million plan. I'm gonna tell you a little game I play. I got 14 little companies. I run 14 little companies while I'm doing deals, while I'm speaking to you today, right? I'm still running them in my head right now. I got them all open. I got browsers open all over the place. Counselor said, you got ADD. I said, I ain't got ADD. I don't know how to add. I multiply. I'm done adding a customer. I want to multiply customers. I don't want to add orders. I want to multiply my orders, okay? I consider myself a decent salesperson. But it doesn't matter if you're a great salesperson. If you don't add business to the sale, if you don't become a business person, you can't build out zeros. Because you're gonna hit a place where they can't pay you anymore, right or wrong. You got to start thinking about being a business inside the business. How do I add zeros? How do I grow the top line of my business? Okay. So today I'm thinking, man, I'm going to build a $10 billion business. I just go into it backwards. I'm going to build a $10 billion business. I'm going to take the 14 little things that I have, probably get down to 3 or 4 of them. How do I build 10 billion? I know the money's on the planet. Say yay if you agree there's $10 billion on planet Earth. Dude, you could suck $10 billion off planet Earth today and they wouldn't even give you, you wouldn't even make the paper. I just got to think different, and I can't compare it to my upbringing. How many people from China here? See a hand if you. Dude, you compare what the average person makes there, you will make sense of anything. Would you agree? If I'm coming from India, I could make sense of 50 grand a year. 50 grand a year, dude, I'm doing great compared to what? Other people in India, right? My mom, she would give me food. When she'd feed me, she was programming me. How many of you are programmed by your parents? Eat it all. How many got this message when you got food and eat it all? I'm like, I'm full. Eat it all. There's people starving on this planet. I'm not one of them. I'm full. Eat it. Okay? And if you didn't eat it, you had to put it in the refrigerator. Right or wrong? How many of you got food in your refrigerator right now? You're in Miami and back home, you're still saving last Tuesday's meal because you think small. Okay? Open up your freezer when you go home. I'll tell you if you're middle class. Open up your freezer. There's some ice cream in your freezer, some Ben & Jerry's. They got this much left in it. They got more frost than they got ice cream. And you're saving it, man. You're saving it. You got all these little Ziploc containers. You're saving stuff. Why? You're saving stuff because you're worried about not creating stuff. Right? I just want to create a bigger top line. So what I do right here is this, okay? Anytime I'm short on creativity, I know that I need to look at creativity is the solution to that $10 billion. Would you agree? If I'm short on creativity, if the $10 billion exists, if $4 million of income exists, okay? If you guys think, hey, I could do 400 grand or I could do $1 million or I could do 4 million. If that money exists, if that's a reality, then what I need to look at is not the creativity. I need to look at the commitment because creativity follows commitment. Where you lack creativity, handling an objection, following somebody up, grabbing business from somebody else, stealing something, a deal that's done, undermining that deal and taking that deal, you lack creativity, right? And the moment I don't think big enough on my income, I will lack creativity where all the solutions, I lack commitment, which will produce the creativity necessary to get those extra deals. The money exists. The potential is there. The opportunity is there. Your space is enormous. What I have to do, whether I'm going into a new sales job, making a sales call myself, or whether I'm trying to start a new business or a new division, is I have to start with the top line of the business, okay? As a salesperson, salespeople sometimes don't think in terms of top lines. They think in terms of their sales. I would tell you to create a department, okay? And your department would be a new business for yourself. And going into 2019 and 2020, you would say, hey, what could I do between March? Are we still in March? Or April? We in April? We're in April, okay? So April to April, the next 12 months, not the last 8 months, April to April, how would I build a $4 million business? How could I do that? How many customers would I need? How many phone calls would I have to make? How many letters out? How many contacts? How many visits? If the $4 million is real, okay, is the $4 million real? Is it real? No, I can't hear you. Is it real? Yes. God damn, y'all don't need to wait till you drink to get excited. You better get excited now, because if you're not going to get excited now, nobody will give you this money. Nobody will give you this money. Money follows attention. How much attention can I get in the marketplace is where money goes. Money does not go to the best product, ever. Money does not go to the best product. Money does not go to the happiest place either. Money goes to where attention goes. Whoever gets the most attention gets the most money. Action, massive action, has always worked. It's proven itself for thousands of years. This is not a new concept. You show me somebody, and we know their name, anybody in the room, any famous person that you can think of. Anybody that we would both know. You say, I'm going to mention their name, and Grant will know who that is. Give me a name of one person. Massive action. Persistent, massive action. Okay? Okay, how many people were watching the Open yesterday? Yeah, exactly. Why? Because Tiger was in it. Attention. Money follows attention. Money follows attention. How much attention can you get? Even bad attention. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. What Tiger went through in the last decade helped him. You got more white people pulling for Tiger Woods, right? They're like, Tiger, grown white men, Tiger. And we say there's division in this country. Tiger, I love Tiger, right? Why? Because they love a comeback, man. The guy got a lot of attention. Okay, who else? Give me another name. Oh my God, I didn't know it was going to be this kind of meeting. If I didn't know it was going to be this kind of meeting, I'd charge you double. Donald Trump. Everybody knows him, okay? Money follows attention. Success and power follow attention. Okay, you can not like the guy, but could you handle that much heat every day? Could you handle that many people not liking you every day? Because if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to be a real leader, okay, if you're going to be at the top of the food chain kind of leader, people aren't going to like you. Thank you so much for having me today, Bob. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Ready for Revolution. Welcome. Brother Eric Teray Muhammad here, coming to you live from the world of classes in session on several platforms this morning. So I do appreciate your presence here. And of course, classes in session. I want to thank the audience watching us on Periscope, YouTube, LinkedIn. Thank you all so much for chiming in this morning. And family, I'm going to tell you, it is about the massive action. It's about the massive action. And if you couldn't embrace what Mr. Cardone was saying there, I advise you to take another look at it, replay it, share it out with your teams, because truth be told, that's what's required to enjoy the success that we desire. And here's the other truth. The fact of the matter is, we've always operated out of massive action. Massive action requires an energy that is so enormous, you want to quiet it. Okay? You look at your newborns, your children, your grandchildren. They have an energy that we don't have. We try to slow that boat down, right? Because they're off into everything and anything. They are naturally active. Massive action. Massive action. They may know what they want. We may not know what they want, but they're rolling. They're running. They're plowing through things all through the house, tearing things up, jumping around. Don't jump off of that. Don't do this. Don't do that. You know, massive action. They want to embrace an entire world, but we got dumbed down out of that. We got trained out of that. And as a result, we miss a lot of opportunities. But if we reflect, I think that's a really shocked that audience that Mr. Cardone was in front of, because this wasn't what they expected. They got there and they expected to get autographed books and take pictures, you know, and that's a part of networking. That's a part of marketing. Don't get me wrong. I understand that. But then the other side of it is they really thought they arrived. They thought they were, I'm assuming this now, I was not there, but I'm assuming that they thought they arrived. I'm assuming that they were comfortable with the thousands of dollars a month they were earning, and they had titles they were wearing, and they probably got awards and commendations for being at their conference. And this man just came in and just obliterated all of that. You know? So it was an interesting watch, to say the least. I want to take us through some housekeeping rules. Of course, I want us to take a look at that Let's Go Weekend. Let's Go Weekend virtual. That's September 24th through the 26th. I got all my tickets. Our family all got our tickets yesterday, or actually earlier this morning. We did it. And just go to www.letsgoweekend.com. The itinerary is there. The agendas are there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to really be awesome. And shout out to Sister Cece Mahone, because when you helped us to, when you produced rather, and helped us to understand the power of a meet and greet virtually, that's what took this whole Let's Go Weekend opportunity to a whole nother stratosphere. So big ups to you and all the wealth builders who are on the stream and on the line. Hey, Roz Range, April Johnson, good to see you. If you notice, I was liking a whole lot of folks' activity because I'm always happy to see us. I'm always happy to feel our presence. I'm always happy to see you share out to other people, to invite them to an opportunity to give them another perspective, because it does wonders for me. Your comments, your thoughts on what we're doing, a lot of times, oftentimes, I'm learning too. So when I get away to the recesses of my mind, when I get a chance to stop moving as much, I'll be up at 1, 2 in the morning, going back through the shows for the week, going through the comments for the week, pulling out the little nuggets that I can extract, looking to see if I can line those up with my material. So again, big ups to all of you. Let's Go Weekend, September 24th through the 26th. And of course, it's all about the massive action, folks. What type of person are we? What image do we portray? What part do we play? Are we in the nothing role? Are we in the retreat role? Are we in the average mode? Are we in the action mode? You see, I don't assume any of this for anybody. I'm still striving to get out of retreat mode. There are things that I do, and many of you and I appreciate the accolades I get. It's heartwarming, but I know in my heart of hearts, I can do better. I could do more better. You know, I could do more better, but we'll get into that in a minute. Housekeeping. Have we paid ourselves first? Have we paid ourselves first this morning? Have we paid ourselves first yesterday or the day before? Payday was Monday. What were we able to do? Did we save a percentage of that and invest it back into ourselves? See, but that's what the wealthy does. When people talk about multiple streams of income, how does the wealthy provide a multiple stream of income? It's not just what comes in, it's what they do with it, to parlay it, to expand it. How do we do it? Well, we're wealth builders. Our commissions come in. We reinvest in ourselves by acquiring more of the asset. We reinvest in ourselves by acquiring more of the multi-gold packages. We reinvest in ourselves by securing another additional gram or 2.5 grams or 5 grams of gold in our auto exchange. See, so you do these kind of things. Did you hear the testimony yesterday from Linda Johnson Spence? Good gracious alive. I couldn't come behind her. I was too happy. I was too full. 70 grams of gold, folks. She didn't even realize she saved so much. and she broke down on that power call yesterday. This is why you always want to stay plugged in. This is why you want to celebrate the victories, because they're inspiring, folks. The stories that we have to share with one with another. There's so much in it. So much in it, and we should never take any of it for granted. So by all means, family, let's pay ourselves first. Okay. And then, of course, 10:45 a.m. Eastern, we're on the Mighty Power Call, the 12 noon presentations, the 9 p.m. presentations, all on www.goldrocks.info, the one-stop shop for everything rich. In fact, now that I think about it, this is Tuesday, so it's a busy day, y'all. It's a busy day. We got the voice of voices, Queen Maxine Jones is handling the 10:45 hosting the show on the Power Call. This is Turn Up Tuesday, and then at noon I'll be hosting the live event, so you can drive all your prospects and teams to the live event. We're going to do our best to represent this opportunity to people. I'll be on live there at 12 noon, and then 9 p.m. this evening is the coach of coaches, our brother and our friend, Mr. Al Murray, will be bringing it on. He'll be bringing it on. But most of you know where you're going to be at 6 p.m., right? Today. How many of you know where you're going to be at 6 p.m. today? Type it in the chat. Type it in the comments. How many of you know where you're going to be at 6 p.m. today? That's right. Forever Wealthy, CC. Hey, Sister Patricia. Yep. Today is session 2. That's right. Session 2 of the 90-day run to wealth, 6 p.m. Eastern, on your private Zoom link. So those who got the initial email from the first week, it will show that link is still the same. You will utilize that link to get on today at 6 p.m. We got a lot of nice jewels for you. A lot of your emails bounced back to us, but it wasn't the fault of you or your email address. We had a server issue operating out of Gmail, and they re-kicked it back out. So between I want to say 2 a.m. and maybe 3 this morning, some of you received emails, some material from us for what we sent out Sunday and Monday to get ready for tonight. And it's not literally for tonight. This is just background information, things that you can look through and decipher for your activities. So by all means, we look forward to seeing everybody tonight. That's right, Brother Greg, in the class, the 90-day run. Hey, Sister Veronica, good to see you. So family, let's just go back to our housekeeping notes, because I did leave something out. Woo! This is a busy week, busy night. This is Tuesday. I'm also at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm on the California Radio Facebook page for the Gold is Gold segment. And we have a powerful segment lined up there for you on the California Radio Facebook page tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. You're welcome to take advantage of that as well. Just keeping everybody in mind, because debuting Sunday, June 5th, 9 p.m. Spotlight with Carlito. That's right, my brother Carlito Muhammad, CEO and founder of California Radio, is hosting his show, and he's debuting the show, Spotlight with Carlito, and his guest is Kevin Thompson, tri-founder of Team Freedom. So it's going to be an interesting show, to say the least. So I hope and pray that God finds favor on me to be there. Sister April, yours is set too. I had an interesting conversation last night with really this morning, it was after midnight, with Brother Rodney Berger and his family. And we had a real good conversation. But we found that here it is approaching 1 a.m. and we were all still up like it was the middle of the day. And the reason that is, when you're free, your sense of time, your dates, all that kind of stuff just gets convoluted. It's not even as material. You find that you don't need as much sleep. You're just off and you're running and it's off to the races, everything that you do. And I found it interesting because I'm talking with him. It's approaching 1 a.m. Then I'm talking with his daughter Erica, and sister Cindy is on. And then in the hallway, I see my son walking one way and my daughter walking back the other way. Wife heading back towards another room. Everybody's wide open. You would have thought we were at a mall, some space somewhere. The house was wide open, because all that is thrown off. That's the one point of conversation that you need to have with many of your prospects and affiliates, because where you might have been criticized in the past for being free, you see, they didn't understand it. Now they're free, but they're not free in the same way. You're free in wealth building. They're free in wondering what in the world is going on. You have the solution and opportunity for them. So let's not sleep on that. Okay. You are their solution. I repeat, you are their solution. Hey, Sister Trisha Mitchell, glad to see you. All right, fam. I'm going to stop all this shouting out and we're going to get right on to, got to share this. Thank you, YouTube family. I see y'all on from YouTube as well. So the Eric Teray Muhammad YouTube channel, I need all of you to subscribe, like, and share it. Subscribe, like, and share the channel. Tell all your teams. That's the gift you can give to me. Tell all your teams. And the reason why I say this, because I strive very hard to streamline that channel to reflect everything wealth building, all of our teams, what others are doing in quarantine, shelter in place situations, sometimes the power calls, sometimes the Sunday night trainings, oftentimes like this last one, Tanisha Glass we did, it was fire. That's on there from this past Sunday, Rodney Berger's presentations, the Freedom Calls, Mr. Best, Mr. Dalco. We share these platforms and we share your work. The Goal is Gold, Kafani Radio, Abundance is Your Birthright. All those kind of programming, because you don't know who needs it. And these platforms aren't around just cause, and where you may not like necessarily what I have to say, or your group may not be interested in what I have to say. I might not appeal to them, but somebody does. So instead of trying to scroll all through your feeds with Facebook and LinkedIn and what have you, where it just continuously to roll by the second, you now have a channel that we're organizing with the hope that you'll take advantage of the opportunities that are found there. And you can utilize those streams. You can share them yourselves and put your referral links on them and do all the kind of things that help to build your business. All right. So please, by all means, thank you. Subscribe, like, and share. We would deeply appreciate it. Okay. So let's get back to the work. The benefits of massive action. One thing that Mr. Codone said before he closed out was, money goes to where the attention goes. That's the power of mass action, folks. That's the benefit behind massive action. Okay? Because we share this opportunity with everybody. We share the opportunity with everybody because there's going to come a point where the light's going to come on and you want to be known as the go-to person. That's what you want. So that's why your lists and all these things are so absolutely important. And you have to organize yourself with an effective routine. You have to create a routine that works for you. Okay. And now the most effective routine is honesty. It's honesty. You don't have to try to match wits with your colleagues. You don't have to try to outdo a person's public persona. It's really about your desires. You're knowing what you're in it for, why you're here, and what you need done. When you're able to analyze that, then you map out the plan of action. You write it. This is what I did yesterday. I got anytime I get to go out in the community, go shopping or do some of the essential things. My wife says I'm on parole. I leave the computer and I go out, and I re-up. I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. Because June 10th, we have a corporate announcement coming. Let me see if I have the date here. Yeah, June 10th, we have a Carrot Boss corporate announcement coming. It'll be over YouTube. It'll stream over YouTube live from corporate. You want to be there for that announcement. This is our month, y'all. This is our month. So I had to clean up and re-up because it's fresh fire forever. Everything I'm going to approach, I approach it with new opportunity. So I have my book for June. I have my book for July. I have my book for August. And I have my book for September. What do I do with these books? I make my list. So I work out of only one book at a time. And I make my list. Now, lists are transferred over, like the May book, not Maybach. Yeah. The May book, I transfer everything out of here, okay? And I move it over into June. I haven't started yet because I just got the new books, but I move everything over into June, right? Okay, then I make my calls. I make my calls. I talk to people. That's a novel idea. That's something that's so avant-garde. You know, people don't do that much anymore. They don't really talk to people. I talk to people. Why? Because you have their attention. They believe it's important enough to them because you're on the phone talking to them. It's not a text. You know how distracted we were in the world before this shelter in place? Everybody walking the street with their head down, thumbs going. And somehow or another, you find a way through your little peripheral, do the little matrix thing. You move to your right, you move to your left as you keep walking to avoid bumping into other people. I don't know how we did it, but it was a serious adaptation. You know, we just did it. We weren't talking to people. We weren't looking at people eye to eye. No one can get a sense of our genuineness. So I call people, and they're appreciative of the time that we invest into calling them because they don't remember the last time they heard a voice. Then I don't keep them on the phone because I understand that time is important. So I operate out of a sense of urgency. Look, I know you don't have a lot of time. I know it's been a while since we talked, but if I can send you this video, it's just 8 minutes long. If I can share this video with you about an opportunity to make more money, would you be interested? Great. I'm going to text it to you now. You think you'll be able to see it by 3 o'clock? I'll call you back at 3 o'clock. Done. And then if they say yes to the video, that's the invite, then I put it in this book. This is the follow-up book. I even have a special pen that I use just for the follow-up book. You know, I'm eccentric like that, but that's what I do. You see? And the only ones that go in that book are the ones from these who said yes. The others stay here until they say yes. And it speeds up. But you got to organize yourself. We have to be organized into a certain routine to make some of those things happen. So I just want to share a little bit of that. I'm preparing myself. I'm getting ready. So you absolutely want to organize your time. Okay. Now, what is an effective routine? Well, simply, an effective routine successfully combines time, thought, craft, and persistence. An effective routine provides creative work. It prioritizes your personal needs. Its building blocks involves energy and associated triggers. You have to align yourself to create the triggers. For example, your list, right? Mr. Dalco taught us that the list is the distance between where we are and where we want to be. You see? So what's the difference between Mr. Dalco, 95,000 affiliates, Brother Eric, 2,000 affiliates? What's the difference? The list. The list. And putting it to work, not just looking at it, but putting it to work. When you write your list, you create a contract with yourself. You make a commitment to yourself and you get busy. So what creates triggers? Go to Brother Al Murray's training. Is he today? The list training, is that today? Either today or tomorrow. I'll find out and make sure that I make it available to you. I don't know if Brother Al's on any of the streams this morning, but there are triggers associated with the list. For instance, who do you know? You see, who do you know? Who does your dry cleaning? Who delivers your mail? Who's your FedEx driver? You know we got FedEx drivers because we got gold, baby. Ain't that right, Ross Range? You see, who are the people? Who your mother likes pastries and cakes. She brings them home all the time. Who makes her pastry and cakes? Who are your co-workers? Who are your colleagues? You see, you trigger things. Here's another one. I have a list now that I make out of money. Who, if I'll give you an example, I have a budget every month. Every month, my budget is $20,000, no less than $20,000 a month. That's my budget. Okay. I don't always meet it. I don't always hit it, but that's my budget. And in my budget, what do? I figure out, I create a list on who's going to help me secure my budget for the next month. If this is June, who's going to help me get my July $20,000 budget? And my list gets to going. I get to going. And now, mind you, I don't think with my pocket when I talk to people. However, those people who appear affluent that come to mind, they only come to mind. Hey, Brother Steve, they come to mind because it's an associated trigger, you understand? When you ask yourself certain questions, it allows you to access that part of the brain that provides the answer. Okay? It accesses that part of the brain. Man, who do I know in the music industry? Oh, Rod Templeton, this one, that one. And you start writing. Your list gets to go. Who do I know? Sports figures who sitting out of work, but they have influence and money. Oh, Ron Artest, this one, that one. You know, sorry, Brother Ron, I won't put my business partner on blast like that. But you know, so these are things that we do. Al Murray, 5 and 5. Is that today, Brother Billy Beard? It's Thursday, 7:30 p.m. 5 and 5 training with Brother Al Murray. Okay, that's Eastern. Thank you. Hey, Tuskegee. You see, so there are triggers that happen. Now, let me tell you how the triggers really work. When you don't rely solely on yourself. Sister April, everybody, you and Brother Lenny cite in your team when you refer them. Sister Cece, you did a powerful thing that really blew my mind. Facebook has a feature now called Create a Room. Create a room for Team Audacity. Create a room for Team Legacy. Create a room and invite people together and have a phone party. You know, get together and announce little triggers and everybody make their list together. Heck, you can even stay in that room and make calls and allow your team to see you and watch you make the call because it eliminates, hey, Brother Harrington, Assalamu alaikum. What it does, it eliminates the stigma that comes with it. Some people have apprehension because they've never done it before. But when you're in a room of comfort and everybody knows each other and we can see each other and we get to talking and doing those things, man, it's powerful. It's powerful. So your building blocks involves energy and your triggers. Now, here's the number one problem associated with establishing a routine that creates massive action, folks. All right. Handling other people's priorities before your own. Handling other people's priorities before your own. See, there gets to a point where you have to realize the harm you do to yourself by not being honest with other people because you like having a conversation. You got to get off the phone. How many of you ever experienced this? You know, I want to talk to you, but I got to go to the bathroom so bad. And you're standing there and you just wiggling and dancing, but you're holding this conversation. And the person can obviously see that you got somewhere you need to go. But you say, no, go ahead. Okay, I'm good. I'm fine. And you're about to bust your insides out trying to hold your bladder. And if you once you get a certain age, you ain't looking to hold no bladder. You get to be close to the restroom. Okay. But to use as an example, because there's a sense of urgency that takes over. You know you have something you have to do, but you just want to get the last of this conversation because you're trying to be kind. Okay. I use that as an example and excuse the looseness or the rawness of the example, sort of graphic more than I really wanted to do. But there are times when we can do better. You see, look, I love Cece Mahone. I love all of y'all, but Cece, she's one of those mentors that I'm almost positive in my lifetime I will not stop reaching out to, calling, trying to get advice and hear her wisdoms. Like I call Mr. Best and Mr. Dalco, and there's others here that I shout out, I call, but I lean on what comes, right? But when she ready to get off the phone, she gone. She don't play. She don't play with her time. She don't play with your time. I'll answer the phone and people will call me. I answer the phone, ready for revolution. Oh, brother, I don't mean to interrupt your day. How are you going to interrupt me if I pick up the phone? If I picked up the phone, I'm available. Oh, I know you're busy. Yeah, I know I'm busy, but I picked up the phone. That means I'm not too busy to talk to you. But when it's time to get off, I got to go. You have to train yourself into that's a learned behavior. Hey, Sister BJ, Trina Purdue James, man, all of the packages and the victories that y'all are announcing on these power calls is blowing my mind. It's blowing my mind. Drive your prospects and your new affiliates to those calls, because when they hear their name shouted out, or when they're listening to a call and they hear someone else comes on who's new like they are from Tupelo, Mississippi, just above one below, and you might be in Roxbury, Massachusetts, and you don't know them and they don't know you, but they hear somebody new come on and say, well, this is my first time and I'm really excited about the opportunity and I'm just here to gain everything that I can. That other person's like, girl, me too. Can't wait. They stay fired up and they stay engaged. So you always want to keep people plugged. Okay, enough of that. I'm starting to lose it now. Okay, so your priorities. Handle other people's priorities before your own. That's a no-no. Lack of willpower to shut off the world. Listen, you are a child of abundance. Lack and want are two words that should not be a part of your vocabulary. In truth, they shouldn't even be in your DNA. You know why? Because you're born from abundance. Your creator is the father of abundance. So how can you lack? You see, we have to organize. We have to organize our time and our willpower. We have to turn the world off. I don't make it a marathon sport to watch the news all day long, to hear what's going on in the street, to watch what buildings are being defaced, to watch people run all down, trying to avoid police and things of that nature. I don't do that. I wasn't doing that before this happened. You know why? Because if there's anything you need to know, if it's bad enough, your friends will tell you. You don't have to be on TV watching it all day long. Because when you feed your mind the negative, you feed the lack. You lose the willpower to turn it off and do what's most important. Can you affect what's going on that television screen? That's the first question you should ask yourself. And if the answer is no, click. And as Mr. Dalco says, give 100% to what you can control and give 0% to what you can't. So that lack of willpower, you got to shut it off and create an ambiance around you that speaks to your opportunity, your business. That helps you with your massive action. Creating and executing your list. We've already covered that. Carving out time for success. You have to make time for yourselves, folks. You have to make time for yourselves. You have to be willing to tell people no, and you have to be willing to tell yourself, yes, I'm going to do this right now. So between the hours of 3 and 5 today, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Between 10 and 12, I'm going to do so and so and such and such. You carve out time for yourself and accomplish. Do it. Follow up. Keep clean materials. Keep things that are only go-tos just for that. Don't take your book for your contact list and write your market list in there also. What you got to pick up from the grocery store. Oh, I got to remember, being I'm working in this, I'll write down, make sure you call BJ and let's talk about going fishing next week. None of that kind of stuff. Whatever you have for your program, let it be for your program. Okay? Building your creative zone. Again, do not handle other people's priorities before your own. Learn the difference between creative work and reactive work. What's reactive work? It's disruption. Reactive work is disruption. There's a certain part of the day I don't touch any emails, and I get hundreds of them. I will not touch them. I will not look at them because it's going to take away from what I should be doing in that carved out part of the day. Do you know that you would go through those emails and it might be 10% of them that you can literally use, and less than 1% of them you can use in the moment you should be doing something else. So learn how to eliminate reactive work. You get a ding or your notification, you got to go check it out. My wife did something a few months back. I shared it with many of you that woke me up to this very point. She's an educator, and she had a online meeting with her students in teams, right? And I was being lazy. I was back in the bedroom, and I'm on the phone, and I'm not doing much of anything at that point. And I decided, instead of just getting up and walking out to the living room where she was to share whatever I wanted to share, or getting what I wanted myself, I'm straight texting her. Hey, while you're up there, can you get so and so and such? Hey, while you're there, do you mind doing X, Y, and Z? She's not answering. I'm getting a little perturbed. All of a sudden, I hear this soft little ping, these notifications, ping, 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 ping. And I looked to my left, and her phone was in the room with me because she wanted no distractions around her to handle her business. So what did I start doing? When I retire at night, that phone is retired. When I retire, whatever time it is that I retire, I wasn't too successful with it today, but the phone retires. It don't come with me. You have to create rest for your mind to move into the expanse. So reactive work is where you allow the notifications to get the best of you, and it lends to procrastination. You don't want that. So successful solutions: create time chunks of success. Establish hard edges in your day, meaning make a schedule for yourself that fits you. But this is important. This was important. You schedule your massive action during the time of day that you have the most energy. It's very important. You don't use the max energy to do, creative work like schedule meetings and clean up your desktop and, organize your books. All that's for later. But when you have massive action, for those who don't know, I'm talking about invitation, presentation, and 3 ways or close. All right. Invitation, presentation, closing. That's what I'm talking about. I don't let anything get in between those. I know some of y'all get upset. I won't answer the phone, or I'll get back to you later. But at the end of the day, Brother Eric's business is Eric's. Brother Ronald's business is his. Sister Rhonda Gale Turner Garner, her business is hers. Hey, Sister Rhonda. These are things that we have to come to grips with. I know we love our camaraderie. I know we love being with each other, and we're definitely fiending now with all this shelter in place. We can't get out and be. Brother Ronald's birthday was just a couple of days ago, and we're in the same state. You don't think I would have found a way to get to the brother? Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. All right, so use the time of day that you have the most energy to accomplish your task. If you want to see additional $2,000, $3,000 a month part-time, well, you can set yourself up to do it within 90 to 120 days. All you have to do is organize your time. Organize your time and take mass action. So remember, pay yourself first. Boy, tonight we're going to show you some stuff. Woo! Boy, that 90-day run to wealth, boy. And I want to hear from some of y'all. Many of you have some victories that you expressed to me on different platforms earlier this week. I would love for you to share some of those victories with us this evening, 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm very excited. I have some other news to share with you on that platform that I can only share on that platform. So by all means, be on. You're going to love it. Pay yourself first. If it's nothing other than $0.1 of a grand. Let's say if your commission base didn't allow you to earn enough for it to be equal to $0.1 of a grand to save. Well, then just keep pulling it together until you get enough. and then drop it in with everything else you get. Okay. Y'all know the rules. Stay plugged in. All right. Make sure you take a snapshot of this card. Make sure you share it out with your teams so people know. People can only be responsible for what they know. And our teams are growing. I know in my heart of hearts, I know this. I'm not speculating. I know that in a few days, I'm going to be too busy to reach back to some of us. I'm going to be too busy to answer some of the phones. I'm going to be too busy to do the three-way calls. I'm going to be too busy for some of these events. You will too. You want your teams dependent upon the system now. Because where we may fail them in our time, the system will never fail them. Books will never fail them. CDs and personal development tools will never fail you because they work 24 hours. Okay? So that's all I got, family. I appreciate you. It's 8:59. Ooh, brother, I didn't do too bad. Okay? I appreciate your time and opportunity. I am going to jump. I'm going to get ready for Sister Lakeisha McKnight and catch the rest of her programming. I'm going to catch up to Brother Kansu to hear some of his. I'll get there with the golden voice, Miss Maxine Jones herself. And then I'm going to be wide open. I mean, I'm going to be crunk to death sharing this wealth opportunity at 12 noon with us on the same platform, www.goldrocks.info. Peace and power, family. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time you afforded me. I appreciate the time and thankful to the God of being your brother and friend. All right. Y'all have a blessed day. Try not to hurt nobody unless you just have to. Forward.
Peace. Strong words. Love. Soul. And change. Yeah. This is Big Snoop Dogg. Coming at you live and direct. And I got something to say. You dig?
Let's change the world. Divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world. No fights, no wars. Oh, let's learn to love again. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Brother, what will you discover if we come together and do it like we never? I'm just sick and tired. I'm fit to light the fire. Now put this on the wire. The devil is a liar. I do this with no hesitation. Meet me at the reservation. Elevating, educating, meditating, concentrating. Replenisher, finisher, opposite of sinister. And I do it for the minister.
Let's change the world. Divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world. No fights, no wars. Oh, let's learn to love again. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
Somebody need to stop the war. Man, the war ain't overseas, it's at your front door. And I done seen too many brothers shot up on the floor for more than drugs and some colors. And now you call us warlords. But if you can help it, then help it. But you ain't helping us. You so selfish and selfless, you wanna see us breathless and helpless. But I'ma hustle and tussle for all my brothers who struggle. Yeah, we bang the world. Now let's change the world.
Let's change the world. Divided we fall, united we stand. Let's change the world. No fights, no wars. Oh, let's learn to love again. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world. Let's change the world. world. Let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.
No killing, no shooting, no dying, no lying, no gang banging, so no more mamas crying. Everybody get along, man, that'd be the perfect song. Peace in the streets as I sit back on my phone, chilling with the president. He let me in the White House, back to the castle with the minister. No doubt, shoes at the front door. Love is what you come for. Let's get it right and unite, but do it front
Let's change the world, divided we fall, but united we stand. Let's change the world, no fights, no wars, so let's learn to love again. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Whoa, oh, oh. Let's change the world, let's change the world, let's change the world. Let's make hope for the future.